So we are right at Kushi Motors. So Kushi Motors happens to be the leading car dealership in Mombasa, Kenya. A pastor, or generally a minister, a pastor would easily walk away with any product from this end. So that will depend on the size of your church and the number of your congregants. At this time, you have to increase the limit to which they have to pay for, how do we call it, for tithes. Specifically, if you've got 30,000 congregants who pay you 1,000 Kenya shillings, so have the bar that high. 1,000 Kenya shillings for 35,000 congregants would get to how many? 3.5 million. Sure. With 35,000 you can, with 3.5 million you could start to negotiate for deposits to this product. So remember, that is still not enough. So that is just about to get to make deposits for the S550. So if you're a teacher and you came to me to this yard, it would be very difficult for you to afford any vehicle from here. Alternatively, if you think that you can, you don't have one option to save 50,000 for the next 35 years. So that is to imply you don't have to eat, you don't have to pay rent, and make entirely every savings to afford any product from here. For a police officer, you have to collect bribes from at least 35,000 vehicles. The 35,000 vehicles, if they give you 50 Kenyan shillings, most definitely perhaps you could get closer to affording a tire to this Range Rover, just about a few spare parts. 35,000, imagine raising your hand for 35,000 vehicles to afford any product from here. So this is not the right yard for teachers. This is not the right yard for police officers. However, so this, perhaps you could be a civil servant from a politicians maybe, or anytime you visit Mombasa. So this was the first stage that you land through. So this is Mwembe Tayari, and in today's video I'll be leading you to one of the yards, the best yards within Mombasa, Kenya. So as soon as you alight from Mwembe Tayari, straight, you can notice. Before I get to give you directions to the yard that we're heading to, that is Kushi Motors, there is a disclaimer, and this is for your own personal good, for your own personal consumption. As soon as you alight to Mombasa, Kenya, so as I've previously said, this is Mwembe Tayari, the first stage. As a visitor, the first thing that gets to your mind is the common phrase Mombasa Raha. I hope you've noticed vehicles with the very phrase Mombasa Raha. So Mombasa Raha in English refers this town to a town of enjoyment. Mombasa enjoyment. I've been here for at least 3 years, and I know how the town runs, how the town operates. Meanwhile, don't lose focus. Our intention of the video is to lead you to the best of dealerships within Mombasa, Kenya. Kushi Motors. So you should be anticipating vehicles to include Porsche Cayenne. You should be expecting Mercedes Benzes. You should be expecting Harriers, Range Rovers, and a Crown. There's a good Crown at 3.5 million, so stay tuned. So as a visitor from Mwembe Tayari will always dictate your destiny as soon as you land to Mwembe Tayari. In most cases, the common phrase Mombasa Raha doesn't apply to most residents here. So as you land to Mwembe Tayari, so this was my disclaimer. Suppose you headed to Mombasa with intentions of receiving job opportunities with promises given from unknown individuals, then run. Why run? I'll be giving you 2 instances where I've got to interact with 2 young men, and the story goes. You shall be promised a job opportunity to Mombasa, Kenya. The moment you land at Mwembe Tayari, that is the stage obviously, what will happen is, I'd refer to this as a syndicate. Your phone shall be stolen. The very first thing is to have your phone stolen. The moment your phone is stolen, you're left at a desperate moment. A desperate man will do anything to survive. So the next thing, once your phone is gone and you're left desperate, the best course of action is to report to nearby police stations, which most people will not do, but still proceed with trusting the next unknown individual. Remember, the first individual would promise you to have a job, was unknown to you, and the second person you are again trusting is likewise unknown to you. So the second person knows your problem, he knows you're desperate, and will take it from there, lead you to the next individual, would promise you to help you with your problems. Rather, instead, the first thing that you should do once your phone is stolen is to report to nearby police stations. From within, there are at least 4 police stations. That is to include Central Police Station to my left. There is a Tononoka Police Station just closer to Mombasa'S, and likewise there is Mbaraki Police Station. Most individuals would, however, not attempt to get to any police station for help. So the syndicate would have you to the next phase, where you would be promised perhaps accommodation, and what will be felt after the accommodation in most cases will not be that good. In most cases previously, they would lead you to some of the suburbs, that is to include Likoni, which is currently not happening. So currently what happens, you'll be directed to Kisauni, and from Kisauni I would not really wish to give further details. So moving forward, remember this is Mombasa, Kenya. So we just passed across Posta, this is Naivas, and we right headed to Kushi Motors. So the disclaimer is, don't trust unknown individuals once you get landed at Mombasa, Kenya. So far, I'm hoping you've noted that every building from Mombasa, Kenya is painted white. So that must have been a municipal policy to have all buildings painted white. So I'll further be mentioning the pricing of vehicles that we'll be getting by. So the product that are mostly used for transport here, the tuk-tuks. The tuk-tuks always sell at roughly 500,000. So that is for new tuk-tuks. You could, if you import that, you'd have them for at least 350,000. Direct imports, that is if you import in bulk. And the tuk-tuks often gives at most 1,000 Kenya shillings daily for investment. The right building that you're seeing there is likewise a landmark here. So that is a government building, affordable housing. So we'll be taking left to Mbaraki is the right turn, and the straight route was headed to Likoni. So here we are. From here we'll be moving, we'll be taking left again, and in the next 5 seconds we'll be right at Kushi Motors. So stay tuned for the vehicles that are upcoming. Suppose any pleases you, remember this is Max Gamble TV. Feel free to contact us, as you remember to stay subscribed to Max Gamble TV. Let us know which vehicle pleases you, and let us know if you require any further directions to the yard. So we are right at Kushi Motors. So Kushi Motors happens to be the leading car dealership in Mombasa, Kenya. And as previously told you, if you walk with me for the next 20 minutes, you shall be surprised by most vehicles that are stocking here. So stay tuned as we get along. So these are not that cheap vehicles. So these are some of the vehicles that it will be very difficult again to count on education to afford any product from here. Suppose you're studying so hard to perhaps someday afford any product from here, it will be a little difficult. So this requires you to engage into let's talk of politics and so on. So look at example as for the case of this amazing unit. So these are vehicles that are ranging, like for the Range Rover, that will range to up to 35 million Kenyan shillings. So this is not the right spot for teachers. Suppose you are a teacher and you've walked along with me to this level, it will be very difficult to spot a vehicle for a teacher from here. Or rather, suppose you are a teacher, let's talk about this Range Rover. A teacher averagely earns an average salary of, say, the best teacher will have an average salary of 50,000 Kenyan shillings. With 50,000, you have to save just like Jacob did. Jacob did savings for at least 14 years to get a wife, to get 2 wives for the 14 years. So for the Range Rover here, for a teacher, you'd have to save your hard-earned salary for about 35 years. So there is a bet. Suppose you're a police officer Likewise, we don't have a vehicle here for police officers. I've noted that. It's very difficult. I've not noticed any vehicle for a police here. However, if you'd like to afford a vehicle, say, let's talk about this product. You suppose you're a police officer, it would require you to collect bribes of for the next 30 years. That is 50 shillings per day. You'd have to stop at least 1,000 vehicles. 1,000 vehicles by 50 shillings would have you how many Kenyan shillings? So convert that to a year. That is the amount of period that a police officer can save to afford at least a tire to this product. So let me take you through around the entire yard and let me know which product is at least pleasing you from here. Lots of products. Remember, this is Max Gamble TV, often a leading YouTube channel that brings you the best of car offers. So stay tuned. So this is a crown. Biblically, there's according to the Bible, what happened before crown? Crown is generally a mixture of gold and silver. The individuals who had to partake to steal gold and silver, I think that there were sons of Jacob, if I'm not wrong, and when they stole the crown and silver, I mean gold and silver, the mixture got to the crown. So that is when how you get to arrive at crown. So for this product with a cash price, so this is on offer for now, a cash price of 2.7 million would afford you that product. So let us just have an extensive tour through. So these are Mercedes-Benz. Likewise, these are Mercedes-Benz. Don't dream of affording any of this, suppose you're not engaged into business. So these are S550E for the Mercedes-Benz. We've got these are E200 Mercedes-Benz. And then here, all these are Mercedes-Benz. Then all this lane is Mercedes-Benz. So I've been giving videos, I've been displaying videos on auction vehicles, very cheap, very affordable vehicles, and none has been buying. You've still always bargained so far. However, this time around, I've caught up with you. So this, from here, it is very difficult to bargain. It is even a little difficult to even ask for pricing here. So for my viewers who've always bargained from videos, I've always shown you products that are ranging between 400,000, 500,000, and still none always get straight to make purchase. So this time there's no room for negotiations here. We've got to we're doing business, we write at business and we mean business. So far from this range, E200, C200, all these lane comprising, so this E C180, then this is TT. If you need the pricing to any product in the comment section, feel free to contact me. C200. So if you are making reference to the then biblical reference, that is, so these we could equate these to the products that, so these are an Audi, the products that who was that Jacob had to struggle, TT, Jacob had to struggle for 14 years to afford. So far I've not noticed any vehicle for a teacher, a police officer, not a banker, not any civil servant. Very difficult, not unless you engage into politics. Will it be possible? So you can notice the ride with happiness, Kushi Motors, E200 for the Mercedes. Let us get to the next lane. After this, remember, I'll be giving you pricing, so stay tuned for pricing. So these are Lexus. If you got 7 million for Lexus, they are given Lexus the sales. I can't just differentiate them for now. The range is up to 35 million Kenyan shillings. So from here, for the Lexus, amazing showroom, amazing. This one is like as a Lexus. So I'll shortly be a Lexus 2. The next one, there is a Harrier. Also, all this lane is for Harriers. Harriers ranges between 3.5 million to 4 million. Then we've got a CRV. I'm used to cheap vehicles such that I'm not even conversant with the pricing myself to some products from here. So I think we should be diverting a little bit to display products from Kushi Motors. So this is Axela. At least I know pricing to Axela. Axela's pricing would to at most range to 2.5 million. Then here we've got a RAV4. A RAV4 3.5 million and a Harrier RAV4. Amazing. So far you've noticed that it's very difficult to note any product that education would afford you from here. So this is the last lane. So all those are Mercedes-Benz, Range Rovers. These are so this will sell at 1.7 exterior view if you're interested in the exterior view. The Juke at 1.05 would be a Juke. Then Auris I mentioned 1.7 Suzuki, 1.2 RVRR. All these RVR X-Trail here. Most of them are X-Trails from here. So let us have a look at the frontal display for the X-Trail. Then here we've got Porsche Cayenne. Amazing. From the exterior, let me have you the exterior view. Porsche Cayenne ranges 6 million. You've seen the famous the training video on Porsche Cayenne. So Porsche Cayenne is a vehicle that was manufactured by Ferdinand Porsche. So Ferdinand Porsche happens to be a German engineer, and his era began during the reign of Adolf Hitler. That is back in 1920s, to be specific, during the World Wars. So Porsche Cayenne, Ferdinand Porsche happens to be the individual behind this amazing look of the Porsche. That is the exact reason for which it's been named Porsche Cayenne. The pricing, just like the other yard, sells it at 6.7 million Kenyan shillings. That will most suit you. Do you have any other further products? So I doubt whether that is selling. This is A4. So basically, if you've stayed to this level, remember to stay subscribed. Let me know which product most suits you down in the comment section, and I'll be making further inquiries. I've told you personally, I've likewise been used to auction vehicles, cheap vehicles, and lately we'll be reverting to this end. We'll be making more of videos on at least classier vehicles. So stay tuned. Remember to switch your mind to similar vehicles. Amazing KBW. So 2.5 million is a good offer for that. So if you're struggling with education and you think that education must afford you a vehicle, then you have to pursue your studies further to a PhD level. A permanent head damage, PhD or advanced master's level. So that is for sure the only way through which you may afford any product. A bachelor's degree will only afford you this. Suzuki, Suzuki 1.2 million for this. 1 million for this. A bachelor's degree can comfortably earn you a product from here. Likewise, so with this you require a master's, a fielder, a bachelor's degree will earn you a fielder. So these are ranging between 1.7 million Kenyan shillings. Likewise to this fielder, WXB, Axela likewise too, similar ranging pricing. Audi Impreza. Then Aqua sells at 1.5 million Kenyan shillings for the Aqua. And then a sulfy would sell at averagely, how much for the sulfy? The sulfy, Nissan sulfy would cost you at most is it 1.8 million, I guess 1.8 million. But then here we've got a Mark X. We've had lots of videos on Mark X, so feel free to contact Range Rover. So this video, my intention to this video was just to show you the directions to this yard. So that was the initial intentions of getting here. Moving forward in our next video, we'll be mentioning pricing to every product one by one, pricing to every vehicle one by one, remember, and I'll also be giving specs to every other product. Meanwhile, as you enjoy with the video, remember to stay subscribed as we get to have you the last view. So these are vehicles that are ranging between 7 to 12 million Kenyan shillings. So let me know if so far you've got the guts to afford any. So I'm not conversant with the pricing, though I'm sure this will cost you at least 20 million Kenyan shillings from this end. Also, that is a sure bet, and you can confirm from the other. So that is the famous Kushi Motors logo. Kushi Motors logo. So this is Lexus. I'm also very interested in knowing pricing to this Lexus. So feel free to reach out in our next video. Remember, still this is Max Gamble TV. So far I've only noticed one vehicle for teachers, bank individuals working in the banks. I've also noticed at least two. For police officers, I've not noted any vehicle for you here. And I suppose you'd like to afford, you'd have to at least collect bribes from at least 35,000 vehicles, collect 50,000 for the next, say, how long? That will be quite a long period. Only that that is the only strategy. For a teacher, the best strategy for you to afford any product here is to organize for extra curriculum activities, and perhaps add more on remedials. You have to work further on remedials, ask parents for more funds, and with that, with your salary, say an average salary of 50,000 as we previously said, you don't have to spend a penny. So you don't have to spend a penny, you don't have to eat, you don't have to pay rent. Your entire savings for the next, say, for the next 7 years, just like Jacob did, to afford any product.